Hello, welcome to my video. This is Uncovered Queen. Today I'm going to be doing a video basically sharing my thoughts as to whether or not it is time to lay the Kenneka Jenkins case to rest. And I feel like that might be quite a controversial statement, especially regarding the specifics of this case. However, I followed this case from the beginning, like probably a lot of you guys have, and at several points, I mean, in the beginning, I was hooked and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? This is weird, no justice. Of course, as a young black girl, the police don't care, whatever. And, I have that kind of mentality and I was very much up for, seeing what happened. And I was not expecting the case to go as far as it did. And throughout all the significant bits of evidence, everything that's really been put forward to us has been completely not credible at all. And none of the facts, none of the footage is not reliable. There is nothing about this case that really makes sense. And with something not being credible, it makes you question, well, how real is it? Okay, so I want to make this quick disclaimer just in case I may offend anybody. I'm not saying stop fighting for justice. I'm not saying stop caring. I'm not saying, this is a fake story and everybody should just get on with their lives. I'm not saying that whatsoever. This case has literally just skyrocketed in a sense where it's gone from theory and Facebook video to people actually having a beginning to end version of what they think happened, showing us evidence that may have been tampered with and so forth. I'm not going to go into all of that right now because that's the whole point of this video. I want to break things down properly and spend a little bit of time talking about certain things. Now, I am going to start from the beginning, okay? And I do want you guys to bear in mind the two basically key terms when we're looking at this case. Is the evidence reliable and are the facts credible? Are the circumstances credible? Okay, this case is lacking heavily in both of them. But let's just start. So, the first thing about this case that is quite important, really, is the beginning. What happened? What was we told? And how did that happen? I remember seeing this video on Facebook. It was shared. I can't exactly remember the exact page that shared it, but there was a page that had shared this video, and next to this video there was screenshots. Okay, let's see where I've got it from this person's profile, and this person was basically saying, that when he first set up Kenneka and blah blah blah, and this was for $2,000, and she kind of broke down a story as to what had happened. This person even went as far as to say, look in the reflection of her glasses, these are the people, like they had the same clothes on, and she really kind of gave a lengthy descriptive story. Now, I remember a couple of weeks after, this had happened, I was trying to find her Facebook, and this person is actually from Chicago. Now, I was trying to scroll back down to their tweets, but it doesn't seem to let me. Now, this is really weird because it's taking me to November the 22nd, but before I started this video, I'd scroll down, and I got to about October, like the 24th or something, and then it just stopped. The second time I scrolled all the way down, my page crashed. So I'm not aware if she has these tweets still there or not. It's just a lot to scroll down to find them. But she is from Chicago, Illinois. And the thing that was actually quite interesting was because I could not find her Twitter on my phone. So when this first happened, I was able to type her name in on Twitter and actually read her tweets. And a couple of weeks later, I tried to find her Twitter account and I couldn't find it. And today, in preparation for this video, I tried to get everything ready, and I managed to find her on my desktop, but when I actually search her name, and this is her username, on my phone, I can't find her. So, as I said before, it would take me a long time. I did try to do it, you know, I went all the way down, and I just can't seem to get to September. It doesn't want me to get to September. I've read all of, got as far as October, and there's nothing really in her timeline that is about Kenneka Jenkins or the case. But nonetheless, the reason why I've mentioned that, and you may be thinking, okay, what's the point? Why is that important? The reason why it's important because we was given a narrative. We were given a video, okay, and we were told that there's a girl that was at a party in the hotel, and she was found in the freezer, and her friends did it. We were given that. I don't know where that story came from. The reason why it don't make no sense, if I'm being honest, is because nobody from that night has spoken about this party. Nobody's gone to the police. There has been no, I don't want to say snitch because I don't exactly know the circumstances, but there has been no real source, inside source, that has said this is what has happened. No one's spoken out about it. So I don't understand how and where this person got their information from. That is actually quite a significant thing. Not just that, but this video of Irene in the room, Kenneka is actually not visible in the video. Now I can already hear voices, people looking at this video like, "But you can hear her voice in the background." We need to deal with this case. Like, as I said before, we need to forget the narrative we were told. We were told that she was set up by her friend for $200 and that she was raped, okay? So because we were told that she was raped, nobody said that she was raped in the room, okay? But we came to the conclusion that, well, she must have been raped in the room, okay? So people started to dissect this video, and people were saying, yep, you can see this in the glasses, you can see that in the glasses. The fact that she was wearing these really super reflective glasses was a little bit weird to begin with. Nonetheless, I don't want to make speculations about the glasses. But you don't see her in there. You hear her voice. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'll just keep it real with you guys. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't know her. I've never met her a day in my life, and I don't know what she sounds like. I have seen videos of her, prior lives, before this situation, and she's spoken in some of them and hasn't spoken in, some of the other videos. But can I confidently say, without shadow of a doubt, that is her voice? No, I can't, because I don't know if it is her voice or not, and I don't know if she's even in the room. When this case came out, she was in the room. Everybody was like, she is in the room and I can hear it. People were even saying that, yeah, you can hear them saying that, they're raping her in the freezer or in the bathroom or whatever they said. I can't remember exactly word for word. And like all of you guys, I sat there, watched the videos, and I thought I heard these words, and I was just like, what the hell? And very, very, very emotional stuff. I just want to point out very quickly that the narrative of what's happened to her is now completely different. People are blaming the security guard. People are saying it's a satanic ritual. People are saying, she was organ trafficked and so forth. I will try to address as many of these narratives as I can, but the reason why I just said that is I want you guys to understand, in the beginning, when this case came out, we were told, A, B, and C happened. And so we looked for evidence of A, B, and C happening. And thus, the debunking of this video happened. Now, a couple of days after this video, was released, when my laptop loads, the video from the Ty Rowland video, This Live. Now, these two videos are very, 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 very difficult to analyze. I'm going to explain to you why, okay? Kenneka Jenkins is not seen in this video, right? But Irene Roberts is, and Manifa is, and another girl is, I don't know what her name is. I think it's Bree. However, in this video, we see what we believe to be Kenneka Jenkins, or who is supposed to be Kenneka Jenkins, and we see Monifa, but we do not see Irene Roberts. Now, when the story came out, I believe it was Irene's birthday, and that's why they were having a hotel party. Then I heard that she had got a new job, and so she was celebrating her job. And then I heard that she lied and said she's going bowling with her friends, and actually went to this house party. So I have heard so many different reasons as to why she was supposed to be in this hotel at this particular night. Too many different variables, guys. There's too many different things, okay, about this case. I'm not trying to answer the question as to why there are. I'm just trying to put into perspective what we are really dealing with, okay? Now, the reason why I mention that is because you have some people saying that there's an actor playing her. So this is not her because of the body type's completely different. And then it cuts across the room. Hold on, you gotta bear with me. I think it's somewhere around here. It cuts across the room, and this person is apparently sitting on top of Kenneka, which I don't understand if these are two separate videos or two videos. Some people saying that's a tranny, some people saying that the tranny was made to look like Irene and vice versa. I don't really know, but there are just so many different narratives based on the video, which can't put all these different people in the same place at the same time, you know, because was the Irene video before or after? Was the Irene video on the same day? I have heard that there were two rooms. I think it was 926 was the room that they were in, and maybe 924 was an extra room. If I'm incorrect, you know, fine, but I know there were two rooms and I just can't remember the numbers. But there's nothing to really say that Kenneka was there. The only thing that kind of says, okay, maybe this was at the same time, was the fact that Monifa is seen in both of the videos wearing the same outfit, which makes me know, okay, this is definitely the same event, okay? So it's the same event, there's a party, or there's something going on in this hotel, okay? But we just can't put the times together. Now, you may have watched videos, okay, that will give you their opinions, they will give you their narratives, they will give you like what they think happened because it makes sense to them. I'm not trying to do that in this video because how can I make a theory? How can I create a narrative about what I think happened when nothing about this case even makes sense, and hence I'm doing it. So that's the first bit, okay? Was she even in the room, okay? Was she really raped? Because that was what everybody was saying when the story came out. Okay, when this video came out, nobody's, you know, people saying that she was spiked. Someone saying, you can hear someone say, give her this drink. I have heard that. There's a lot going on, but bearing in mind, if you have been told someone's been set up, very naturally you're going to think with a mindset of actually incriminating people, because these people are guilty to a certain extent. So you kind of start to, how do we explain this? It's like paranoia. You know when you're paranoid, right? And you're overthinking. And all these things are in your mind. You're thinking all of these things, but they're not actually happening. But it's real to you. But it's real because of your paranoia. Your brain's stuck at a certain point. But let me stop rambling on anyway, because I want to try and stick to the bloody topic. Okay? Right, so the next thing about this case, which makes no sense whatsoever, is the footage of her walking through the hotel. Now, when this came out, I remember seeing these videos and I stopped watching it because I said, you know what? That is the girl. That girl is Kenneka. She's walking down the hallway. She's clearly intoxicated. on God knows what, but she's turned, and it is her. And maybe she wasn't raped, maybe she was just fucked up and did just walk in the freezer, you know. And I honestly thought that. But then you have all these stories of saying that this isn't her, and that this is a actor, and this is a reenactment. Okay, and this is when it starts to get really complicated, and as they say, this is where the plot thickens. Alright, because first of all, they said, so official police report said that she walked into a freezer. The word on the street was that she was, raped by her friend. And so with the these videos being released by the news, it kind of said, well, no, that didn't happen. All those rumours are just rumours, and we need to get over that because this is really what happened. She walked in, she's clearly drunk. Now, of course, this is the videos that they uploaded online. Sorry, for the news. We have seen the footage of her being dragged. I don't know what point it is. I think they have edited this bit, to be fair, but we're seeing shadows, we're seeing her being dragged left, right and centre. We're seeing a lot of things happen that just don't seem to make sense. And people are saying it's a reenactment. And even at this bit, I've watched the video when she gets up to this corner and they grab her, And the thing that makes it really difficult for me to really understand this is because people are saying that it is her in videos and she is drunk, but she's being led somewhere, and then people are saying it isn't her, it's an actor. But if it's an actor, why is the actor, why are people grabbing the actor? Do you know what I mean? And where the hell, who are these hands, and where are these hands coming from? So that's kind of the thing that really confuses me, because how can it be her, okay, and how can it not be her at the same time? And if she's being dragged by, because I have seen bits and bobs, I have seen people's own videos where they've showed hands pulling her, even this bit where they pull her into that bit. But how can that be her if it's not her? How can that be her if it's an actor, if it's someone playing her? Unless it's a combination of real footage and fake footage. I know the news said that they created the videos. So this is supposed to be a reenactment. I don't know. We have a TV show in the UK called Crime Watch. It comes out monthly, and basically it's about crimes. Obviously by the title, but it's about crimes, and it's basically did you see this? Please call this number. And sometimes there are bigger crimes, just someone's house has got burgled, and they've maybe stabbed someone in the house. You will see that situation, but obviously played by actors. But it's a dramatization. That's what it is. If this is what that was supposed to be, okay, then this is just fucking weird, because this is got timestamps and whatnot on it, which is another thing I'll go into. Okay, so the footage is obviously tampered with and edited. So is it right to use the CCTV as a part of trying to understand this case? If it's tampered with, do you know what I mean? I don't know, guys. Now, I just did mention the timestamps. The timestamps change literally from video to video. I've seen people kind of, have different videos with different timestamps. I have seen videos that are not even timestamps, but they're the duration of the video, so a time code, not timestamp, and people have interpreted that as the time. I can tell when I'm looking at the time, which is 2:32 in the morning, and when I'm seeing something that says this has been playing for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And I have seen people talk about some of the clips but get the time wrong, and I think that's really, really important, because as I said before, there are so many things that say these videos are so questionable that when you then start to add on the time, and the time is wrong and it's being reported wrong, then you're giving yourself a lot more issues. Because there is a YouTuber, and I'm not going to say their name, but there's a YouTuber who made a video, basically a kind of collated video from beginning to end of the case and what do we know so far. And he had the the time report of the texts, and the texts that have gone between Kenneka and somebody else. I'm not too sure who the person is. And he was comparing the times, right, of the video to the times of the messages. Now, bearing in mind, as someone from the UK, 24-hour time is like normal. The Americans call it military time, but it's pretty standardly used. Although we don't say it's, for example, right now it is, as you can see, I've got it up on my computer, it's 6:10, but we would say 6:10. We wouldn't be like it's, 1800 hours 09 or whatever the hell. He basically said that 1 o'clock, so 1:20 in the morning, I think it was, that was a timestamp on the video. The texts were like 6 a.m. in the morning. And he said, well, 6 a.m. in the morning is 1:20 because it's UTC time, which is universal time. And I watched the video and I was like, universal time is local time, which means right now, if someone was to transcribe me talking, it will be, 1811 UTC, which is universal time. So the time codes are really important when you are analysing videos, and you need to make sure you're looking at the right thing. Which brings me on to my next point, the police report. Now, I didn't download any of the files. I don't have the reports of the texts or anything like that, but for example, her autopsy report is hair. Now, this is really important, and this is important for two reasons, okay, which I actually kind of forgot to mention already. When this case first came out, right, it was one live video and a narrative. You did not know she was raped and set up by her friends from looking at that video. That video was captioned with that. This is what had happened. We need to first of all identify where that rumour came from to assess how real that is or isn't. But we're past that now. We don't think that happened. We think something else happened. Okay, I am gonna get there. You guys have to just follow me. Right. You're seeing texts, okay, of conversations. I don't have those texts, but if you go and watch other people's YouTube videos and you look at the times are like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. That is 5 o'clock in the morning. That is 6 o'clock in the morning. There is nothing to convert. UTC is universal time, okay? So it's whatever. If it's in Chicago and it's saying it's 6 a.m., mate, it's 6 a.m., okay? There was a demand for footage. We want to see her walking into the freezer. They didn't give us that. They gave us something else, and we ate that up. Then they started giving us the reports and police documents. Guys, you really need to understand this, right? You really need to understand this. We should not be able to access anything about this case. This case has not gone to court, okay? Which means all of this evidence should not be in the public records. We should not be able to touch it because it has. When you have a court case, all the things that happen in court can fall into the public domain. These are police reports. It was up on the Rosemont website. The Rosemont website is like, hey, welcome to Rosemont. This is what you can do. Like, I don't know if that's even a real website or not, but nobody is questioning why the hell was this evidence on a website. Like, it does not make any sense. Okay? It doesn't. This doesn't happen. Ever. Okay? Ever. There was an incident with a guy that happened in London, I think 2 days ago. The young boy that had been attacked by the police, right? 3 or 4 days time, you're not going to be able to go on the London website, or the situation happened in South Bermondsey, although there's not a website that I think exists to my knowledge. You're not going to be able to go on that website, and you're not going to be able to download a folder that has the text messages between him and his friends in it, okay? You're not going to have that. It's not going to be there. This is police records. Police records are not public records, okay? The police force has put this out there. People are so emotional. Nobody is stopping and saying, why is this up here? But we're eating it up, and we're sitting there, and we're dissecting it, and debunking it, and demything it, and analysing it, and looking for things. And it's like, dude, like, why do we even have this? This is so fake. This brings me to my next bit. You have the whole coroner. Now the story changes from her friend setting her up, okay, to her friend setting her up. She's drunk or she's been drugged. Because first of all, she was set up and raped. Now she was drugged and, you know, raped. Her friend set her up. They drugged her. They spiked her drink, and then her organs got stolen by this guy. Now, yet again, I've watched this video. As I said before, there are so many different narratives on there, and I know there's going to be one angry person that's like, this is bullshit, you're tripping. I can't cover every single thing I've heard. I'm just trying to get to the points, really. But yeah, I know about organ trafficking. I've done a video on organ trafficking and other missing people that have been going missing in Chicago whilst the Kenneka Jenkins case was going on. I think there was about at least 10 people within the space of a week that have disappeared, you know. And not that they were shot, they disappeared, which means if they've just vanished and their organs are gone, nobody knows anything about that, you know. And this, I feel like, the whole police thing, I feel like is a separate issue, really, because I kind of feel like I don't know how much this ties into her friend setting her up or anything like that. This could purely be opportunistic. If this did happen, this could be opportunistic. There's a dead body, blah blah blah. But then people are saying that this guy was rolling around the hotel from the day before. So if he's rolling around the hotel from the day before, was this planned to happen? What you know, like how do all of these things link up together? I don't get it. Okay, now I'm gonna jump the gun a little bit now, only because I kind of feel like those were my main points. So if I just kind of summarize through my points, really was just, you know, really trying to, the video and the story were given in the beginning, and then we're given a second video. It was like you don't see her in Irene's video, but you see her in Ty's video, but you don't see Irene in that video. So it's really hard to kind of differentiate between what time these events happened, what happened in what order. Like, you can't really make sense of that. Then obviously, as I said before, the footage of her walking around, there's a lot of people saying that is her, that isn't her. You know, the picture of her in the lift, not the lift, sorry, the bathroom, this picture, people are saying that isn't her, some people saying that is her. Yet again, as I said, there's a lot of variables about this case. Then you have like even more footage being put out, which I just feel like is weird. Why is this footage? Supply and demand, guys, supply and demand. People are aware that there are people that are sitting here on YouTube looking for videos. Guess what? I'm going to give you a shit ton of video footage, hours and hours of video footage, and guess what you're going to find out? Nothing. Because there is nothing in that videos that you can say is proof. Of course you can't. It's your opinion. It's you connecting the dots. You are connecting the dots and saying what happened in the most likely circumstances based on what you have. That isn't fact. Do you know what I mean? The reason why this makes it very difficult as well to really assess, and without trying to sound like a, you know, I'm a private investigator, because I'm not, but you need witness testimony, eyewitness statements. What we're dealing with is a case with clearly edited footage, and the word on the street is, because that's what it is. It's the word on the street is. There is nothing that, like, as I said, the initial story we had, is word on the street is. I am going to do, okay, where are we, you know, as of now. But yeah, for the meantime, this wasn't that, you know. You have all of these things, and then obviously you have the Facebook pages. You have Manifa's Facebook page. You have the mum's Facebook page. You know, Manifa was saying, "Someone, we miss you. I'm sorry. Like, where are you? Come back." And everyone's just like, "What the fuck? Like, she's dead. What are you talking about?" And that was just a lot of weird stuff. As I said, there is so much things, guys, that in a video it's going to be quite difficult for me to, like, you know, mention every single thing and try and keep it chronological. Okay, and then you've got even more stuff as well about Tyrone's dad being a what's his face? You've got Tyrone's dad being a Mason, or I think a Mason or whatever. You've got other YouTubers talking about bigger corporations. You've got Charles Dorsey. You've got all these different, you know, all these different stories adding to it and adding to it. And so actually what we had in the beginning to what we have now is so far-fetched. I've seen a video of a lady speaking about how her eyes were taken out of her head and sewed up, and that this is a satanic ritual. How is it satanic ritual and a prostitution ring and an organ trafficking scheme all at the same time? Unless that is like how these things work. I don't know. But the reason why I've kind of made this video, and I am going to apologise in advance if it is all over the place, because as I said, there is just so much for me to cover. I know the moment I hit stop recording, something can pop up in my mind and it's going to be too late. But the reason why I made this video is simply because I believe that we are being fed shit, if I'm being honest. We are being fed bullshit, and we are spending our time and our effort and our energies really trying to make something out of nothing. And the issue with that is you get different kinds of people. For example, there is a guy, Aboriginal Media King or whatever, Aboriginal Media, Global Media, I think. And I watched his video when he's like, "This is what happened to Kenneka," and I thought it makes a lot of sense. You know, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. You know, bearing in mind, he did that based on the evidence. There were people that were making videos on what I think happened to Kenneka Jenkins when it was just the Irene video, okay? And they were talking about, you know, it was a prostitution ring and she went down for it. And so a friend was like, "What? Have her anyway and give me $200 in return because it was a kickback, blah, blah, blah." And then you had these random, you know, you've got people flipping, doing tarot readings on this. You've got psychics saying this and that. And, mate, like, it's all over the place, yeah? Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but what we need to remember is that we are making our opinion based on what people are putting together and showing us. So we are choosing to accept and not accept certain parts of that narrative. So when this guy made the video, I was like, this makes a lot of sense. But the bit that he couldn't explain, that I felt like didn't make any sense, was please go watch the video, because this is not going to make sense if you haven't watched the video. But if Kenneka had willingly gone to the freezer, okay, Kenneka had willingly gone to the freezer, and Manifa locked her in there as a sick joke, and the security guard knew that he was in there, and he went back, but for some reason, either, I don't know, he said Kenneka had woken up or passed out or something, and they got into it, but then he's seen bringing her into the freezer in a black bag. So what happened in between? That doesn't probably, as I said before, if you haven't watched the video, that's not going to make sense. But for those of you that have, if someone can, you know, leave a comment or something, that would be much appreciated, because he gives a very, 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 very precise and amazing analysis. And I actually did mention him in my other video. However, there's a gap in the sequence of events that don't make sense, you know. Okay, and so it brings me to the now. What was the last thing that happened in this case? They released the pictures and they closed the case. Now, what you people need to understand is this, right? If they have closed this case, how the hell do you think it is going to be reopened? Now, yes, that does happen, but we're dealing with a corporation here and a county police force. Okay? If they, first of all, Crown Plaza should have been, I feel like in terms of this freezer that supposedly wasn't being used, but yet you see videos of people taking, you know, sandwiches out of the freezer the next day or whatever. That whole bit don't make sense. Some people saying that bit of the kitchen's like an operation room, surgical equipment. Like, I really just don't understand, guys. Like, I hope you guys are following what I'm saying, because there's just so many different aspects of it. If the police force did this, they will be held accountable for not giving her a proper investigation. They will be deemed bad. It will not look good on them. Their reputation will be, you know, will be worse than what it is. Apparently, people say Cook County is Crook County, but I kind of feel like in the greater scheme of things, they could come under a lot of fire. Not just that, but also Crown Plaza Hotel then become responsible. First of all, they should have been responsible for like the freezer. I think the freezer in general. But they're going to come under fire. Do you see what I'm saying? So we're dealing with a massive corporation and the police force that have to hold their hands up to being wrong, which they cannot do. With a case like this, with so much publicity, like, it is just threatening for them to actually do that. I'm not saying that it's right. And then it brings me on to the mum. You know, the mum in the interviews. The thing that makes me raise eyebrows about Teresa Martins, because I feel like she don't seem to really be saying anything. Like, something happened to my daughter, yes. Dr. Oz, right? Don't say anything. She goes on the radio, don't say anything. Lenore shows the guy a picture of something, and we don't know what it is. Based on the conversation, it only makes sense that it would be the CCTV that is supposed to be above the freezer door, okay? Bearing in mind, the organ traffickers help her. Supposedly, some people are saying this guy. In some scenes, some people are saying he's holding the camera in his hand. Some people are saying they've got the thymus gland in the bag, he's holding it. Trust me, people are saying loads of different things, okay? People say she goes on Facebook and is sharing videos of people talking. She put a video up about all these YouTubers that are basically fighting for justice and making videos. And the thing is, that's quite important, is the timing of that. She is, as far as I'm concerned, she had the radio show, she had the TV show. Those were her platforms to speak about the case. Now that she's made aware of other people's opinions and theories, she now doesn't have the means to go on these platforms and to report back the news that she's saying. Because I saw the picture of her saying a lot of different YouTubers' names a few weeks ago now, and because I don't have a massive following on YouTube, I just weren't in a rush to get it up, and then by the time I thought, let me make a video about it, someone else had already done it. But I felt like there's no point in me doing it now, because if you've seen it once, you've seen it once, you know what I mean? And I suppose what I'm really trying to do is just, for me, I'm at the point now where I just feel like this is just, I don't want to say it and be disrespectful towards her or her family, but I feel like this case is getting really ridiculous now. I feel like people are making up some stupid stories, and people are just, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but people are really rinsing it, and they are exploiting the situation, because we're not going to solve it. A lot of these people are talking about, you know, solving these videos and putting work in to find out what's happening, but who is it for? Because as far as I'm concerned, every video you make and you put it on YouTube, it's only for people to think he knows what he's doing or she knows what they're doing, to follow you, to become more engaged with what you're doing, and you get more viewers, you get more subscribers, and people keep coming back for more. Because as I said, this is a classic case of supply and demand. You know, people want more Kenneka Jenkins footage. You give them everything but the one thing that happened. And what does it do? It keeps people going around chasing their tail. Before I end this video, just for the sakes of answering my own question, which I said, is it time to walk away from this Kenneka Jenkins case? I'm going to say I think it is. I think it is for the reasons I've listed. Going back to the 2 key terms I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there is no credibility in this case. There is no reliability in this case. As I said, there are a lot more things that I could have gone into and a lot more detail that I could have gone into. But for the point of just making this video, I just want to let you guys know that we were given this story, we were given a narrative as to what happened and why it happened. We ran with that, and every 2 weeks or so, new footage, new evidence was being released, which didn't point us to the direction of concluding this case. It just opened up more and more potential possibilities, and that just quadrupled and quadrupled and quadrupled to the point where nobody knows what happened. We're never really going to find out. I don't really feel like Teresa Martin is doing enough to get this case reopened. People are going to say, you know, she's also a child, you can't attack her, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'm not attacking the lady, alright? I'm just saying, there are people and their children die, and you see these people, first of all, grieving, you see these people out there fighting and speaking out. Speaking out. Teresa Martin is not speaking out. There's a difference. I can't explain it. Like, I'm trying to give examples, but for example, like in the UK we had the Grenfell Tower fire, and if you watch some of the news reporters going around interviewing some of the locals there, you have some people that are literally just saying like they don't care about us and speaking out and just proper speaking out on the injustice that people from a lower income background face, and they're talking about real shit and they're saying it on the platform, if that makes sense. Teresa Martin is not saying anything about this case, where she's almost, some people are saying she's been silent, some people say she has a handler. You know, Lenore was talking a lot, now she ain't saying anything. I don't bloody know. Rumours and there's accusations and that there's video footage and that, you know, the police aren't looking into it. She's just simply saying like, won't, like, speaking like in a really passive voice, this is what happened and that is what happened. Okay, but what are you going to do about that? You know what I'm saying? Why are you fighting? She said the medical examiners wouldn't let her see her body and blah blah blah, and I feel like there's so much you can fight against some of these stuff. You can try and sue the hotel. Obviously it's going to be a lot difficult considering the hotel says accidental death, but you can open a private investigation like Kendrick Johnson's mum did it. She got a private autopsy on her son. The mum hasn't done this yet. The mum has told us everything, yeah, as to why it don't make no damn sense and why it's weird, but she hasn't got her daughter's body examined. That speaks volumes, you know what I'm saying? You haven't got your daughter's body examined by with a private autopsy. If you're saying, she said on one of her Facebook status that she didn't see the bruising, she didn't know Kenneka's body was bruised and stuff like that until she'd seen it on YouTube videos. I'm sorry, but why the hell are you sitting on Facebook writing statuses about this? Why are you not going to the police? Why are you not taking yourself down to the FBI agency headquarters? I don't really know. Why are you not going to state police? I know in America you have the Chicago Police Department, you've got the Cook County Police Department, you'll have the state police will be above them, and then you'll have the FBI and so forth above them, and however the hell it goes in the hierarchy. I don't see her writing statuses like, well, I've gone to so and so today, I've gone to try and do this today, I tried to do that today, I've been knocked down, I tried to do that today, they wouldn't let me. It's just, I'm sitting here and I'm defensive and I'm helpless and I can't do anything because they're not letting me do anything. So maybe that's disrespectful, I don't know. As I said before, like, under the circumstances, with the amount of things that have transpired from this case, I feel like she's got a lot to really go and report, you know, but hey ho, each to their own. So anyway guys, I will leave it there, and that's kind of a lot of information to take in for one day. If you did like my video, please do like, subscribe and share this video, okay? And do leave a comment. I do encourage, you know, open discussion. If you do comment, I will write back, and to engage with some of the people that are watching these videos. That's kind of what inspired me really to start making these videos, because you know, I just felt like there's stuff that I want to talk about, so why not?